Subscribe to our YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to get all the latest updates.
The building you see right behind me, that is the new wing of the Goa Medical College and Hospital. This is the specialty unit which they have opened specially for COVID cases. As the old building of GMC has run out of bed, the government has now made this unit functional. It is not completely functional, but yes, they are taking in COVID patients and the critical ones, as there is a completely functional ICU over here. Now, this building seems very new. It is a new building, but the facilities provided inside are still abysmal. Nothing has improved inside. And on my left, you will see this is Cecil Rodriguez and Prashant. These two are the witnesses of the failing health infrastructure which is right now going on in Goa. Now, Cecil has her father admitted into the ICU and he is in a critical condition. Prashant has lost his friend who was admitted into the hospital for COVID treatment. Now, Cecil, will you please brief me about the facilities inside? What is the condition inside? Because you're allowed to go inside, you have seen everything. Just tell me what is the condition inside.
It's a newly opened up block and it's not functional at all. Even we as ICU, family members of the ICU patient, we have nothing on our floor. We are made to sleep on the floor and nothing, like no hot water, because right now for COVID, especially some of us are COVID patients, some of us are negative, but all of us have to drink hot water. Provision is not there. And due to the cyclone, we've seen like a collapse of all our ceilings. Many of the bathrooms have collapsed and, we had gushing of water on our floor bed. So, middle of the night, we had to rush, push everything out and fix it ourselves and get everything organized. Even the IC unit, I'm sorry to say, but, we were in a panic zone because the ACs were shut off. The lights were on, oxygen was on, but there was dripping inside the ICU and there was little bit of puddle of water wherever we were walking around. I know that everyone was overwhelmed that day because of the cyclone. Everyone's trying to do their best and it's been, it's been an experience of, a nightmare, because we bring our family into GMC. Actually, I believe in GMC and I know that if our government had to take precaution much in advance in having the lockdown done or the RT-PCR test done, and for anyone coming into Goa, because Goa became the destination of a party place for everyone when everything was else locked down. If that was taken care of, I think so we would not be suffering, because being in the ICU, it's been 6 days. Every day we are seeing a death case. Every day we are consoling families. Every day we are wondering whether is it going to be our turn or are we going to go to the next ward after our dad comes out of the NIV. And we are fighting, we are pushing it. Youngsters like a 33-year-old passed away yesterday because he had the fear. He had the fear of the NIV mask, of the ventilator before it goes orally. So just a request to everyone is don't fear COVID. If you get it, fight it, be positive, say I'm going to come out of it, because we are seeing death every day and our CM seems to be very cool. They are just focusing on the vaccination, but the reality is even we cannot go inside, take our family members inside or take our food inside because you're given a pass. And sometimes in the unit, in the IC unit, we need at least 2 people because one to run to get medicine. There's nothing here. There's no, pharmacy inside. The canteen is just, I think, so opened up. I've not even gone down. Now they're providing food for all of us. But this is not something what we eat. We need our staple food because we need to be strong. And everyone needs a different diet plan, either solid, liquid or whatever. And we don't have a proper dietitian coming and checking on our parents. So, it's that fear. They don't even allow fruits inside. They don't allow fruits inside. So they come check our bags. I mean, you don't have anything organized right now. You're putting so much of restriction for us. We had to ask for even for a plug point to please put on the electricity for us because we need to make a water hub.
There is no electricity inside?
No, the lower points to charge our phones or electrical, like to heat up our water or to do steam or anything. Nothing. There was, after 4 days of fighting, we got that connection done. And every day is a battle. Every day they were not allowing us to get food inside. Like a lot of volunteers are providing food. A lot of family members can't eat that kind of food. Sometimes those people who end up eating only chapati in the night are forced to eat rice because that's the only thing available.
But Cecil, what about the food for the patients?
I think so. Right now they are providing them with the basic facility, like what the diet is required. Like yesterday, suddenly they all went on a liquid diet. They made everyone go on a liquid diet, and my father's just recovered, from loose motions and fever, and he needs semi-solid food inside or something a little bit solid to retain it, so he gets his energy to fight for that oxygen. And it's been a constant battle outside for us as members. We're fighting against the system.
Still, you told me they have given you a space where the relatives can stay, right, for the night or something. Tell me about the conditions of in what condition you are staying over here.
I think so. The video that you'll be seeing along with what I'm speaking was there was water flooding. The toilets were not manned. Nothing is in place. Even in between, there was no water in the flushes. So we had to complain saying that, the flushes are not working. Because we as ICU family members who go inside in the COVID ward, normally you need, for every 2 patients, there is 1 nurse or 1 attendee attending. But because they are short staffed, many nurses and doctors have got COVID, they are short staffed, we can understand. So they are permitting us inside. But we are living in a condition which is so pathetic, and we go inside with whatever situation it is, and I don't know whether we'll be giving them the virus or they'll be giving us the virus.
They don't give you any PPE kits, or you don't wear PPE kits while feeding the patient?
See, I've come straight from the ICU. This is how I'm dressed up because it's so chilly inside. Sometimes for us it's unbearable, and this is how it is. And I just hope...
Why do they allow their relatives or the outsiders to go and feed the patients? I mean, even without any protection, are there other relatives also doing the same?
Normally 2 of us are there from each family member, or some of us are like one. I'm all alone because I'm the only child. I don't have, and during COVID, no one wants to come out. It's very risky for anyone to come and assist us only. So many family members are there, just 2 of us either. But this is how we are dressed. No PPE kits. We get a pass, 1 person to attend, 1 person to feed, and we're given a certain amount of time. So sometimes, like my father gets breathless eating, so he needs a break. But they're like, okay, come, time up. You'll have to leave now soon. I'm like, I'm not even done. I need to check whether he needs to poop or he needs to, clean, because my dad's bedridden right now. So he doesn't have any energy. So it's like just a rush. And I can see my dad's oxygen level coming down.
Tell me about the patients you see inside when you go inside the hospital, the scenario around your dad, or as you walk in, what do you see? I mean, tell me the inside of the hospital, the other patients, maybe the deaths also which you see. You must have seen some deaths.
Oh yeah. When my parents were in 150 ward, there were 119 people in one big hall. That's the examination hall which was open. There were beds one behind the other. No barricade, no privacy, like how certain states have done for their for their patients, for COVID patients. And literally we saw one patient die in front of all of us. Like there were 3 doctors pumping in turn by turn by turn, and we are just looking at each other like, I hope it's not our turn next. Or my mom saying like, oh, so sad, like, I hope we are not in that state right now. And seeing my dad collapsing and I'm seeing them pumping that guy up, I'm just like, just trying to hold myself up and say like, why there is no barricade. Whether it's COVID people, negative people, we are all using the same bathroom. There is no segregation, and we are just trying to survive. Actually, I don't know even. I'm actually right now I'm COVID negative, but I don't know if I am also, because I don't even have time to go and check myself. So that's our situation right now, and I don't know. I hope that whatever's happening in Goa, that people realize that we are answerable for this, because we didn't put pressure on the government enough to say stop what is happening. The tourism wanted money. They opened up all the sides. We allowed everyone from infected states to come into our state, and Goa is just a dot on the map. And you can see cyclone has hit us, COVID has hit us. There's something wrong that's going on, and I think so we should realize it right now, open up our eyes, that we should stop fooling around with Mother Nature, because that's what we've been doing, cutting mullet, the trees and everything. Wake up guys, wake up India. We should protect Mother Nature. We should respect one another. We should not kill one another. Greed is something that, which has taken over human being, and this is what we are suffering today.
Prashant, tell me, do you share the same experience what Cecil over here has mentioned?
Yeah, 101% is true. When I was in ward number 144 with my friends.
Same building?
No, the next building, old building, 144. I faced same situation. One day prior, when my friend passed away on 8th early morning 3:30, my friend was at the corner bed and 3 beds was there. Okay. After 1.5 hours, 5 minutes, 3 patient was just passed away in front of her. 60% of people died because of scare. I call all the youth, please leave your everything who are free at home. Please come to help in GMC. Forget yourself. Come for humanity at least. Forget the politics. Please leave politics aside and come to help. Please, I beg you all.
Prashant, you told me that you were the one who were fitting the gas cylinder, oxygen cylinders inside the patient. There were no doctors, no nurses. What had happened?
Nazia, telling frankly, when I reached over in GMC on 4th, on 4th, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, on 4th, I'll come to know the shortage of oxygen. No one is taking initiative. I personally asking doctor, oxygen is there, cylinders are there. This is not my duty, but I am believing in humanity. I am asking at least security sitting outside. Give him in charge, rather than sitting outside the door. I was asking doctor before 1 hour. I was calling all my friends. Baba, send the cylinders immediately. They were sending me cylinders.
Why were you arranging cylinders over there?
Yeah.
Why were you arranging cylinders over there? Did the doctors ask you to arrange?
No, because of my friend. Cylinders was shortage. Even their pipeline were attached to the bed, the normal bed, very less, very bad condition. Even the ventilators. I have experience. I have seen. But forget of ourselves who have influence. They can do anything. Yes, right. Rather than locals doesn't have. They come to me and begged, save my uncle, save my auntie, save my dad. I'm very sorry to say this. I was arranging, and rather than servant was telling me, you have pressure, you can do whatever. Forget about the pressure. First, see the patient how they are suffering on the stretchers, on the bed, down. Even they doesn't have a courtesy for the special kids. You can see the video later. They doesn't have a courtesy to have a special kid. Elderly people, abnormal people. Then mental people, all are in one ward only.
All at one.
All ward. If after a person is dying, they doesn't have a one frame to cover it.
True.
I'm not blaming doctor, not the nurses. All the management mistake. The system is totally failed. See the other countries, how the system is there.
Tell me one thing, you agree with what he's saying? You also have seen the similar thing?
I think so. It's been a constant battle that from day one of when it has hit us. Like, I have been part of the warrior front of it before my parents got affected, and every time we were getting SOS messages for oxygen, for gas, for the gas cylinders. I mean for the oxygen cylinders, and trying to reach out. Even our doctors didn't have oximeters in stock. The oximeters that were getting also were damaged condition, and the doctors were taking our oximeters and handing over. When I put out a video, people started pouring in oximeters. Even in ICU ward, I have donated few, because now today out of all these days, they have started with the oxygen with the finger in the ICU. That also was not in place earlier. So they just opened up the ICU with very minimum stock. And we were using the oximeter on our parents while feeding them, because taking out the oximeter and feeding them. Even the thinning of the blood medicine was out of stock, which they inject into the stomach, so that, the oxygen level comes up. That also was not in stock. I had to literally buy. Okay, I can understand, I can afford. What about the poor people? This is a government hospital. I think so everything should be provided to the people, right from vaccination to the medicines to the pharmacy, anything with COVID.
Treatment, are you satisfied with the treatment which your father is getting right now?
See, right now it's all an experiment that is going on. Even the doctors have said, every patient that's coming in is different. So they're treating each one differently. And the doctors, frankly speaking, are overwhelmed. Because right from starting of last year, we have not planned. We thought we are free from coronavirus. We are done with it. It's party time. Let's open up. When everyone was dying around, we were partying in Goa. Goa was opened up for the New Year parties. Though we were fighting and saying, please stop everything, no one listened to us. And today we are witnessing this present scenario over here.
So that was Cecil. Now, yes, Goa was one of those states which had unlocked too quickly, or which had unlocked before any other state had taken this decision. Now here you can see this building has been opened for COVID patients, but merely opening up of a fancy building is not enough. You need to provide doctors, you need to provide nurses, you need to provide proper medical equipments needed to cure the patients. You have heard it right now, what these people have gone through. Cramped spaces, lot of patients in one space, relatives, the space where the relatives stay, even that is, they are also staying in an abysmal condition. And this is the current scenario in Goa. The health infrastructure over here is completely collapsed. No one has any idea what is going on. The relatives waiting outside the hospital. They do not know if their relative who is admitted inside is alive, is dead. No one knows anything. This pure chaos and panic. With Shiva Devnath, this is Nazia Sayed for Mojo Story, Goa.
It's great to see you here. Thank you for watching our work. If you haven't subscribed yet, don't forget to click the bell icon and subscribe to Mojo Story and support independent, robust journalism.